would go for, or he would like how long. Like I would record down like how long it took for him to notice there was food at the top of his bowl before he goes up and gets it a little bit. You know, depending on how hungry he was, and he used to do all these pointless scientific experiments because you know it kept me from being bored. Whether it be magic tricks or you know looking at my goldfish and trying to figure out what the fuck is it doing. One day, for some reason, I decided to take a glass of water, and I was looking at, or, you know, I didn't even get the glass of water. What it was is, I was spitting on the light bulb. Now, keep in mind, I'm like a chubby little black boy. I'm 6 years old. I don't know fucking better. I was spitting on a really hot light bulb. This is back in the day when light bulbs used to get fucking stupid hot because they were, like, engineered half-assed. Had a bunch of fucked up shit that can kill you. You know, not like today's light bulbs where they're all efficient and shit and they never get too hot. These are the old school light bulbs where you can burn somebody on the light bulb. So, anyways, I was spitting on the light bulb and it would make like a little bit of sizzle and I would chuckle and I would laugh. And I just thought it was hilarious. And I kept spitting on the light bulb. And the more spit I did, the more smoke that would come up and it was funny and hilarious. So my stupid ass decides to get a glass of water on a plugged-in lamp that's really, really hot, right? And I go up to it and I pour this water on top of the light bulb. The only thing I remember was a large flashing light and me flying through the air. And when I woke up, my back, my shoulder blades or head hit my closet door. And this is like a closet door for a kid's room, so the closet door's not that fucking thick. You know, we live in the hood. So I put a hole all the way through the closet, and the way the closet broke, the door broke, it caused everything in my closet, because you know I'm a kid, and when I had to clean my room, I would just shove everything in the fucking closet. All this shit just fell down and made this huge ass thud. So my mom comes in, she's fucking freaking out, right? And she's like, what would you do? What did you do? What happened? Why is my fucking lamp? She said, she's a woman of God, right? She starts saying a bunch of church scriptures and shit and quoting the Bible and cursing at the same time. And I'm like, you shouldn't be doing that. She's like, I don't give a fuck about what I'm doing. Jesus, Lord, and she just starts going and stuff. And then she starts speaking in the tongues. And that's how I can tell my mom gets real mad when she starts speaking in tongues and shit. And she's like, what did you? And then she finally kind of put two and two together.
Sometimes it feels like somebody's following me.
Hey, what's up, crazy gun shit, Joe? What happened was, she's like, why would you pour glass of water on an electric light bulb? Do you know what will happen? I'm like, well, Mom, and I remember I said it because I had, okay, after you've been shocked and you got your head hit against the wall, you have a lot of clarity, right? My little life flashed before my eyes. Like, I was a sperm in my daddy's ball sack coming out, hitting the egg and ovulating and shit. That's how, because I was 6 years old. I didn't have much of a life to flash back on. I mean, I flashed back on a couple of ass whoopings I got. But when you come out of being shocked that hard and thrown back and your head hits the wall, you go through a slight phase of reflection. And I reflected and I had a lot of clarity. And I was like, and I told my mom like the gangster shit. I said, I was performing an experiment. But now that I reflect back on my actions, Mother, I do realize that was stupendously stupid of me and I could have died or something. And she looked at me and she laughed. And then she looked at the water and looked at me and she laughed again. He's like, you are not my son. And I said, well, yeah, I could agree with you on that. I don't know why I did that, but all I can say is I'm 6 years old and I don't know any better. And the shit was so real that I said it. And I was like, you know what? I think I deserve a whooping. And she looked at me and she's like, I'll be the decision of that. I'm the adult. So she gets the lamp. She throws the pieces away.
Sometimes it feels like somebody's following me. And I got no privacy.
Hey, what's up, Tickinator? She smacked the shit out of my hands with the belt. And it hurt. And I didn't cry. I think I was so in shock. It didn't faze me. And then she was panicking. There was something wrong with me. So then she ended up taking me out to Chuck E. Cheese and ice cream. We went to ice cream first. We went to Thrifty Shop ice cream. They don't really have that many anymore, but you can get some good ice cream for cheap at Thrifty. So I got my ice cream, and I was sitting there. And I remember the funny thing is, the ice cream man was like, so, good to see you, little Leslie. Or little LL, because my last name is Leonard, so you call me, hey, what's up, little LL? I'm like, oh, Mr. Peterson's his name. How you doing, Mr. Peterson? What did you deserve to get this ice cream today? Because my mom only take me to get ice cream when I would do good shit, right?
me, and I got no privacy.
Hey, what's up, hey, Try? You teared too? And I would sit there and I'd be like, oh, I did a good science experiment and it went well at school. And I looked at my mom and she just kind of nodded because, you know, she don't want me to tell none of our business. And I get my little ice cream. I get a double scoop. Can't believe she let me have that. And then we went to Chuck E. Cheese and I had a fun time. And I was like, why did you take me to Chuck E. Cheese and all this? I thought you were just going to whoop my ass. She's like, honestly, I'm glad you're not dead. And it makes me realize that I maybe need to keep you a little bit more occupied than just Leslie basically letting you just sit there and just zone out of your room. And she said, you know, I'm mad at what you did, but the way you responded for a 6-year-old is very, it was very good. You knew you fucked up. Xperia. And she said it was punishment enough for you to get knocked across the room and hit your head against that door. She said the only thing I had to do was help her like repair the closet, which was weird. Which was just for a 6-year-old, I can't help her repair her closet. I was just handing her shit. But like I got ice cream and got Chuck E. Cheese, and she's like, "Don't think you can go ahead and pour water on my motherfucking light bulbs and start getting some you know, special treatment." I'm like, no, that was not fun. That hurt very bad because it kind of hurt pain over my body. My muscles were very tense. Because like I said, you never want to pour water on a light bulb that's plugged inside the socket, let alone one that is scorching hot. I remember, like I said, it was a flash of light and I flew across the room and I hit my head against that closet real fucking hard. I'm to this day, I'm surprised she didn't whoop my ass. If it was me, the parent, I'd have whooped my ass. Even if I was electrified and stuff like that. Yeah, you know what? I don't even know how I ended up getting ice cream in Chuck E. Cheese. If you guys know what Chuck E. Cheese is a place where they have a giant mascot, which is a fucking rat, and he serves you pizzas and shit. And I know it sounds fucked up, but it's delicious and fantastic for a kid and shit like that. But I guess the moral of the story is, don't pour water on light bulbs. I'll tell you this, after I did pour that water on the light bulb, she actually ended up giving me a NES and got me some games and stuff, and that's how I got into gaming, really, because I poured water on a light bulb because I was getting too active with shit. And once she got me into gaming, I kind of toned down, and then she basically learned that she can control me by like threatening me not having to be able to play my video games or not being able to actually play my Nintendo. So, for instance, if she knew a new game I wanted to come out, let's say like Super Mario Bros. 3, she knew that she would not buy it for me unless I behaved myself. Because like every Friday, every Friday she would take me out to fast food and she'd let me rent a video game. And the only way I can do that is Monday through Thursday. I behaved myself and did my homework and got good grades. And then Saturday we go to movies and Sunday we go to church. You know, for my mom, she kept me pretty active and I thank her. She's the way I ended out the way I did. She never let me do no Negro shit, which is good. Not that, you know, like, you know, run on the block, listen to rap music, inappropriate shit for my age and shit. She was a good mom, but she was from the old school. But that's how I got into gaming, man. It all sparked from me pouring water on a light bulb. You know? Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese is the shit. Not nowadays. Back in the day, Chuck E. Cheese had Street Fighter, Outrun, good like skee-ball games, the basketball hoop games. They had Simpsons. Like the Chuck E. Cheese nowadays, the games fucking suck donkey dick. But back in the day, it was Chuck E. Cheese, and in some places it was Peter Piper Pizza. And yeah, that was the shit, man. If you go to Chuck E. Cheese, just the smell of the pizza, and when you get in there and you get them tokens in your fucking hand, and you feel like a baller, and you just run around like a crazy little kid, Chuck E. Cheese is the shit. Back in the day, also since you had good grades, I don't think they do this anymore, because if they did, parents would complain that you're discriminating against the children that don't get good grades. Because that's the kind of fucking society we got now. Parents would complain that their dumbass kids who doesn't got good grades won't get as many tokens as the kids who got good grades. Back in the day, for every A you got, we usually have about 5 or 6 marks, you know, from A to F. And if you had good grades, if you got all A's, which I did, or all pluses, or however they did it, depending on what grade you're in, they give you like 10 tokens an A. And then if you got like a D, it was like 1, and C, it was like 2. It was really fucking, either you're a smart kid or you're not. And it was a stride to make kids want to do better. So I brought my report card. I got all A's. When that lady handed me 40 tokens, she said, "Oh, you're a little smart, little nice boy. Oh, your shirt tucked in. Look, your hair's so nice. You always call me very respectful." She would give me like 60 tokens. And I would lose my motherfucking minds. Like, I don't know. Oh, donkey colored dick? I don't know what color a donkey dick is. You probably can Google that, but I imagine it'd be pink. Anyways, um, and when you a kid and you give kids 60 tokens, uh, and you give a kid 60 tokens at fucking Chuck E. Cheese, that's a lot of fucking tokens. And, that would just make you lose your fucking mind. And when I had that many tokens, like, the fucked up thing was, I was talking shit to the other kids. I was talking down on the dumb kids who only got, like, maybe 10 tokens. How many tokens you get? I'm a baller, man, she said. So I got 60 tokens. Oh, you got bad grades? Better get your grades up. Remember all them times you be making fun of kids that be studying and stuff like that? Uh-huh. Guess who got the token now? And I used to make fun of them. Because I didn't give a fuck. I was a kid. I didn't know better. I shouldn't have did that, but... You know, let me tell you, man, when you the smart kid and you got 60 tokens at motherfucking Chuck E. Cheese, you just lose your motherfucking mind, dude. I remember I was playing skee-ball games. I had so many tokens, nigga. I was playing 3 skee-ball games at once. And I remember one kid, he was from the hood. He was just there for a party. And I guess he didn't have no money for no tokens. He's like, can I play one of your skee-ball games? I'm like, nah, player. This is only for, it's like, I got all these tokens. I got to play 3 at once. I got to get all these tokens out. I got to get these tickets. Because, like, at Chuck E. Cheese, you get tickets, and you get tickets for fabulous prizes. But when you're a kid, you don't realize these fabulous prizes are probably shit. You probably could buy these prizes for cheaper for what it was and what have you not. So, they had all these different prizes and stuff like that. And, I remember I wanted to get what was it I was going for? It was like a basketball set. I wanted a basketball set. I wanted a couple of those things with the little sticky hand you could throw in somebody's face and you get it on your mama's wall and it gets fucking stuck there and she gotta scrub it out and she's cursing at your ass and stuff like that. And like, yeah, man, like I remember I wanted that. I wanted the sticky things. And oh, I got a shit ton of candy. And my mom liked the candy. They had good candies. They had like Snicker bars and candy packs. So my mom didn't give a fuck what I did as long as she got some of her almond joys. She loved almond joys. I don't know why she loved almond joys. She just did. That's coconuts. Fucking disgusting, but whatever. So, what basically happened was I'm going around and I'm playing 3 ski because I got to get all these fucking tokens spent because I don't know when the next time I'm going to be the fucking Chuck E. Cheese. And remember, I got 60 tokens. I lost my motherfucking mind. This is back in the day when a game cost 1 token and that really big souped up car ride of Outrun or whatever the big fucking entertaining one was maybe 2. Maybe 2. So I'm running through this whole shit and I'm just trying to blow all these tokens and, you know, get my shit in. And like, I remember at one time I had like 4 kids just watching me in disgust because I was like chubby little black boy playing 3 skee ball games at once. I was like, ski, move, ski, move, ski, move, reset, ski, move. And sometimes I just throw them. I was even trying to get them. I was just trying to throw as many ski balls as I can get. You know, because back in the day, they didn't have those easy games where you get 100 tokens just from landing a switch. No, skee ball made you work. Or you had to shoot some basketballs and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, when I got done at them 60 tokens, man, I had at least about, I think it was like 2,400 tokens. I think it was 2,400 tokens. No, I'm sorry, 2,400 tickets. So when I had those 2,400 tickets, I bought all that shit I want. I had so much shit, they had to bag my shit up. And my mom said, see what happens when you do good in school? I'm like, yeah, mama, good stuff happens. And I'm like, and you didn't even have to spend none of your money on them tokens. And she gave me a high five, and that was cool as shit. But I'm pretty sure they don't do that nowadays because there's a lot of dumbass motherfucking kids now. Like, a lot of dumbass kids where parents let their kids be dumb because they don't want them to feel bad about myself. See, you know what? When I was a kid, when my mom would tell me some shit, like, she would tell me I was doing some stupid shit. Like, if I did an assignment and I would have write it out and my penmanship wasn't on point, she'd be like, your penmanship looks like shit. And I'd be like, it does? And I look at it, I'm like, yeah, it kind of does. She's like, you ain't gonna take this to school and have them think that I'm an unfit mother? Go back and do it again. So eventually it got to the point where I just learned the mentality of do it right the first time. I guess that was what she was in, you know, and trying to endow inside my mind and shit. So yeah, It's not worth it to take the easy way out. I remember one time, like, you know what also my mom did? She used to bring all my teachers cookies and shit and treats. And I didn't mind that. You know, some kids said, oh man, your mama, why you kids sucking up to the teachers? And I say, hey, look here, Playboy. I can't tell my mama what to do. You know and I know what's gonna happen if I told my mama some shit or tell her what she can do. Yeah, she's a grown-ass woman. She'll smack him upside the head. And I said, yeah, exactly. I ain't tell my mom what the fuck she can and can't do. I'm a fucking kid. I don't pay no bills. I used to say that shit when I was a kid. I don't pay no bills. Because I didn't pay no bills. And I remember the craziest thing was she used to buy all my teachers treats and apples. Like, you know how teacher's supposed to bring your teacher an apple? She would actually bring my teacher an apple. And during Christmas, she would bake cookies. And what this did is that it made the teachers really concerned in my educational development. So if another kid, let's say Charlie's doing C's, but Charlie's a little bit of a bastard. Mrs. Harrison might not give a fuck about Charlie. Not that she doesn't care about him, but maybe she expunged all her options to try to educate Charlie and stuff like that. Now Charlie, he's a little fucktard little motherfucker, and she got the hoochie mama, and you know she don't want to deal with Charlie or his mama because they don't try. But my mama tries, and when a teacher finds a kid that tries and sees some potential in them, they latch on. Especially if the parents bring them fruits and pieces of apples and oranges and delicious, I mean high quality shit. Like high quality fruit. Mama didn't give them no shitty fruit. She got that good fruit from the Latinos from the Latino market. Delicious fruit and cookies during Christmas. So if Charlie did a C book report, for Charlie that's good. If my black ass did anything less, if I didn't have, the lowest I can go is an A minus. If it was a B or less, they would tell my mom. I was on some Korean Chinese level school mentality shit. At least that's how my mom was. Because that's why she did it. She bought them the fruit and the cookies and the treats so they'll be really concerned about me. And I remember one time I half-assed the book report. I got a C and my grade still would have been an A average. This is right before the weekend. My mom, my teacher, she shows my mom the half-assed book report because I know it's a half-assed book report. Like, when she would say, I need a 2-page book report, my mom would make me do a 3-page book report with a diagram and an illustration of the fucking characters. And I'd have to put a synopsis on the back. And she would make me put it in a nice crisp folder. And on the front, I'd have to do my own rendition of the fucking cover of the artwork of the book. And I couldn't even copy the cover of the book. I had a copy. I had to do my own interpretation. She was on that level shit. Not that I mind, because she made me the man I am today, and I appreciate that from the way she raised me, but I digress. So, my teacher comes up. This is the weekend. I'm planning some great shit. I'm planning, okay, Yoshi Story 2 or Super Mario Land 2 came out. Gotta play that shit. Oh, I gotta go see this new movie. My teacher shows her my report card. And I'm like, or not my report card, my report in general, right? And I'm like, this is not a drill. And I said to myself, this is not a drill. She gonna get me. And she got me. So she showed my mom the half-assed book report. And the look of her face was, I hope you didn't plan on doing anything for this whole weekend. And as soon as she said that, I looked at my teacher, I'm like, really? And she said, I'm sorry, Mr. Leonard. Your mother always treats me so nice with those fabulous cookies and all those little treats and apples she brings me. I owe it to your mother to let you know when you're slacking, when I can think you could do more. I'm like, you know what, I can't even blame you, because if I got some delicious fruit like that and I got some delicious snacks, I'd probably do the same shit too. Didn't say the shit part. I'm a kid. I can't say that. Thought about it. Didn't say it. Wasn't worth it. So I had to read this book from beginning to end. It was some story about some Indian and Caucasian boy who I don't even remember, about how they had to deal with each other's issues and relate to each other. I spent Friday, Saturday reading through the whole book. Started doing the report on Saturday. Went to church on Sunday. Got home, finished the report. My mother checked it 2 or 3 times and I resubmitted it in my teacher on Monday. Killed my whole weekend, and when my teacher said it, this is the kind of work I expect from you, Mr. Leonard. And I'm like, to myself, I was like, well, why don't you ever get on Charlie or his kind of stuff? And she looked over at Charlie, and Charlie happened to look up, and she's like, go back to your work, Charlie. And she looked around to make sure no one else was close. Let me tell you, Mr. Leonard, some kids are going places. That's you. Some kids, They ain't about shit. And she stopped herself. Shh, they're not about much. Now, Mr. Leonard, you can be an astronaut. You think I could be an astronaut? Well, maybe not, because you have bad vision and you actually have to have perfect vision. Let me rephrase it. I think maybe you could be a president or some kind of senator. Maybe just a very intelligent young man doing some cool stuff like that. I'm like, really? And she's like, yes, okay. Charlie ain't going nowhere. Look at Charlie. You ever see his little ragtag clothes? You see how Charlie talks? Yes, Charlie does not talk in a sophisticated manner that befits his age. See, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking to you about, little Leslie. You're a good boy, and I can't let you end up like Charlie. I understand. You were just looking out for the player, huh? She's like, where'd you learn that from? I saw this movie the other day. That guy said player. She's like, yes, it would make you a very bad player, Mr. Leonard. So I look out for you. And, that's just kind of how it went. And, yeah, so, like, I could never turn in half-ass work, and it just got to a point where I just gave up, so I always made sure my penmanship was perfect. I always made sure everything was on point with my grades. I always made sure I did my assignments neat and to the point. And you know one thing? You know what the crazy thing? It's not a fucked up thing, right? You guys ever know how much detail I put into my guides? It stems from that. Because she got that shit so ingrained in my fucking skull, I could never ever turn in half-ass work. That's just what happened. So, I mean, I appreciate what it is, but see, nowadays parents don't do that, and I think that's why the little motherfuckers are fucking up. So, those are just a couple stories from my childhood and the greatest mom ever. Like I said, my mom passed away when I was 10. And realistically, I don't remember anything from ages 1 to 3. But from 4 on, I had a good 6 years of my mom being in my life. But her, the way she is,
like somebody's following me,
and the way she raised me, stuck with me to this day. Hide the lights. And if I didn't listen, I'd get my ass whooped. And that's just how it was. And believe me, she gave, like, just as much as a good mom she was great at giving ass whoopings. I mean, I had to tell her, like, she would never use a belt that had, like, metal on it, but what she would do is she would use it to instill the fear with me. So, like, she would have a plain belt that's not going to leave no marks, it's not going to hurt me, but it's going to hurt a little bit. She would threaten me with the cowboy belt, but then she whipped me with the regular belt, and I didn't realize that was a scare tactic to hurt me more than what it was. And so she'd be like, you want me to get the cowboy belt? I'd be like, I don't want you to get the cowboy belt. You want me to get the cowboy belt? I don't want to get the cowboy belt. I'm like, please don't get the cowboy belt, because you know you got to keep in mind, what's up, Vorith? When you're a small, chubby little black boy, the fucking cowboy belt scares you. That motherfucker has like metal on that shit. It is not a joke. It is a cowboy belt. It is not a joke. It is a cowboy belt. Think about that. It has metal and shit on it, right? Then she just whipped me with the regular belt. Now, when I got really mad, it occasionally might be her hand or the extension cord. But, I mean, that kind of shit kept me out of trouble. I don't know where the story of her whooping my ass is leading me to, but, yeah. But, yeah, my mom's, man, she'd whoop my ass. But I deserved it every time, because I would do some stupid shit, whether it be pouring water on a light bulb, just anything like that. Pouring water on the light bulb, turning in a half-ass book report, doing... Oh my goodness, I just fucking died again. Please. I can't. I'll have to scan them, because back in the day we didn't have digital photos and all that kind of shit. I got kid. I was actually oh my fucking goodness, dude. I just got fucking razzed. Fucking cocksuckers, dude. Like, get the fuck out of here. Anyways, yeah. That's all the kid stories for now. I got plenty more, but I don't want you to realize how crazy I was when I used to do some stupid
Sometimes
shit.
it feels like somebody's following me, and I got no privacy.
Hey, what's the relevance? Now, somebody asked a good question, how I got into streaming. How I got into streaming was I was on Team Liquid a lot. I used to follow a lot of stuff that used to go on for StarCraft. And right around when live streaming started going on, I always wanted to show people my ideas, and I'd make little replay packs and showing people how I do different in builds, and they work for me. Like, I used to be a weird guy. I used to go Bio versus Protoss, and I had this timing with some Fire Bats and Marines and some medics and stim where I could beat a Protoss. And I had really weird-ass timings and things of that nature. And I was on Team Liquid. And this is like when StarCraft 2 first came out. Could not get a beta for my life. Everybody's
Sometimes it feels like somebody's following me, and I got no privacy.
Hey, what's up, Exposer Raw? So basically, I was watching all these other streams, and these is back in the day when people were like going one base Protoss Void Rush and stupid shit like that. And I always try to tell people, like, I always try to just break stuff down and show people, like, how to, like, go from, you know, starting off small and working up to better builds and stuff like that. Like, I was trying to tell everybody in StarCraft, you just want to do as many good one-base pushes as you guys can, because you need to get good at one-base pushes before you try to venture on, and no one used to listen to me and say, oh, that doesn't work. But long story short, I was working at the Jack in the Box, so I was a graveyard manager. I just got my promoted to assistant, so I was starting to run shit then. And I was friends with a couple gamer homeboys, right?
Following me,
gamer dudes that came through, right?
I got no privacy.
And thanks for the follow, boss. And I don't know what it was. I used to always give them free food because they were cool people, and I used to talk games with them, like, you know, StarCraft 2 coming out, League of Legends, all that different kind of shit. And he's like, hey, I got in the BattleNet beta. You want a key? I gotta give it to one of my friends. I'm like, fuck yes. And I actually had to contain myself from freaking out. And I remember after he gave me that StarCraft 2 beta, he ate free for like a good year after that. Because when I did that and I started streaming, this is back on live stream, I was playing Terran. And I used to play like a really aggressive style of Terran.
Sometimes it feels like
kinda one base,
somebody's following me,
kind of shit.
and I got no privacy.
And I used to just do things in an unconventional way. Everybody else is going maybe Reaper Rush. I would go like with opening Marines and do like more into... I always like going into a tech type build. And eventually I came across this unit called the Banshee. Now if you guys haven't seen the video, you guys can search Debo SC2 Yahtzee motherfucker. It'll pull up. It has 100,000. It has like 500,000 views. It's not big. It's just one of the videos I got known for. And I'm really good with the Banshee unit. To this day, I don't know what it is. When I get some Banshees, I can make Banshees do shit. Like, I can get shit done with Banshees. Like, I can just get shit done. I'm talking like get shit done. And I remember on one video, I think I was drunk as fuck, and I was like using like 2 Banshees. I was Banshee harassing the fuck out of a Protoss. And eventually, when people saw that video and things caught on, then I got a pretty good following, and I was streaming on a regular basis, and I was streaming StarCraft on and on for the most part. But that's how I got initially into streaming. I just wanted to connect with people and showcase people my different builds and how you can take this unit and theory. It was really just for theory crafting. We were bouncing ideas off of each other because people would be like, you have 500 people inside of a room. What do you guys think? What I should have done better? Hey, Debo, you should try this, or maybe you should try that. And I'd try it, and I'd be like, okay, I'll try this. And, you know, and that's what we did, and we figured out builds, and it was, you know, talking to everybody, then we could start doing tournaments, and the live stream was fantastic because it brought us together more as a community, and we can react, we could actually talk to each other in real time and shit, instead of just being in those dark, dank-ass fucking chat rooms on Battle.net, if you remember how that shit used to be, with all those fucking different chat rooms and shit. And, then eventually I just started playing a little bit more Diablo, and then the craziest thing is, for as much I was coaching and making tutorial videos for StarCraft, I could barely break past 100 viewers, right? And then eventually, well, unless we were doing Bad Matter Monday, where I would curse and say a lot of outlandish shit and a lot of fucked up shit for Bad Matter Monday, I would say a lot of fucked up shit. Like, I used to tell people to eat my ball sack, and I used to do really troll-ass builds and destroy people. Then I'd break maybe, like, we'd get to like 130, and then I started streaming Diablo, and Diablo I got like up to 1,000, and I got up to 700, then it kind of stayed at 300 to 400, and not to mention the money I was making off the Real Money Auction House, and I just kind of stuck with Diablo, because sensibly I was making a ton of money off Diablo. Like, I was making money off a game I played part-time, making as much as I was making at work. So ever since then, I just kind of stuck with Diablo. Not just the money, but I also played Diablo 2 for a long time, and I also played a lot. And the thing that got me frustrated was that I could put a lot of effort into Diablo and feel like I was getting shit done. StarCraft, for at the level I was getting at, and I was stepping into Grandmasters, like I needed to play a lot more, and I didn't have time to because I was working. So Diablo was just a natural choice. I got nothing against StarCraft. Like right now, I got a lot of free time. I could go back into StarCraft, but the question is, do I really want to? And is that a game? I'd rather invest all my time in League of Legends because I actually do like League of Legends. And if I get really good at League of Legends, that's instant, like thousands of people watching you. I don't want to think about it in terms of monetary gain. It's just another thing about it too is that StarCraft is having a problem with map hackers right now, and that made me very disappointed to play the game because you can tell obviously what people are doing, what you're doing, and shit like that. Oh, I'm glad you like the stream. So yeah, StarCraft is cool, but they gotta fix their hacking issues and shit like that. Like when I was playing, like I got to the point where I can get back to high masters on North America right now and Europe, but I don't like playing that way because the way you have to play when you have map hackers is you have to play very safe. Like in a TVT, I always open 111. I'm not opening anything different because a 111 can shut down a lot of bullshit. Not to mention, if somebody's map hacking, it doesn't matter if you go 111. You could shut down Banshee opening, you can stop down drop opening. 111 is such a fucking safe opening. It's ridiculous. Even if you get like an early push and they try to contain you, you can go the early 111 build, sit in your base, wait, and then progress onwards from that point and still do well for yourself. Yeah, so. But it's like, you can't do a build, like if I want to proxy a starport out of your base, then they can look at, because the way they got map hacks now, they can see what you're producing and what your structures are and shit like that. If they scout, or they like see that you cut SCVs, then they see the starport building, then he automatically knows, oh, he probably cut some SCVs, he's probably proxying that starport. Or, let's say that I'm going versus Zerg, right, and I'm trying to go double starport opening, he will, if he's using that map hack, he doesn't have to look at the map. He doesn't have the kind of map hack where you can tell they're map hacking, like when you look at the replay and they're looking in your base, and like there's no kind of detection, right? They got the map hack to the point now where it tells you what I'm building. So I'm building 2 starport, then you show up to the Zerg base, he has 10 spores and 20 queens, and he took 4 bases. All with spore colonies. And you're like, what the fuck? You can't do any type of build that is like a surprise build, which are still viable, because you could proxy, because back, like I said, proxy starport versus Zerg is actually not that bad if you do it right. Because the Banshees get to the bases really early, and you could still expand and do shit. So you can't do any builds like that automatically. So then you have to restrict yourself to builds that are saying, well, if he were to see what I'm doing right now, could he abuse it? So like versus Zerg, I open Helion Marauder because even if he goes Mutilus, I'll be able to hit him with the timing and he'll die, and I'll do a lot of damage, and by the time he gets to my base, I'll have turret. So I have to do the same exact builds. And in some cases, just keep the builds very straightforward. Like versus Protoss and versus Zerg, I gotta end the game early. And Terran versus Terran, all I gotta do is play safe and play standard and have better positioning. You know? So it really discourages me to play StarCraft right now, especially when they had the rampant cheating in the WCS North America, when a lot of people were fucking DDoSing each other and doing that shit, and Blizzard's not dealing with it, but yet Blizzard will deal with Hearthstone, they'll deal with Heroes of the Storm. That's why I get mad at Blizzard. So, you know, StarCraft and Warcraft made Blizzard who they are. It's, you know, Warcraft 3 RTS, StarCraft 2 RTS, and also Diablo. And those same games that made them famous, they're turning their back on those games for newer games that are microtransactions free to play. And that's why I get so upset from a gamer standpoint. Logically, from a business standpoint, I understand. But that's why I don't fuck with StarCraft no more, because I don't know if you're hacking or not. It's pointless. I'm leveling up a new character so I can use these as mules to hold all the extra items I got from Stash. Season 1 ended yesterday, and all the items transferred to non-season, so I need to make space. I'm not going to pick up the next group until maybe a couple hours from now. We'll see, or I might be done for the day. But I'm just basically leveling up these extra Witch Doctors so I can store my gear on them. I can have 1 Witch Doctor for Jade, 1 Witch Doctor for Tiki Sack, and I don't have to switch the gear around, and I can keep the gear on this character. So that's why I'm doing it, and it will free up a lot of space. So yeah, that's why I don't fuck with StarCraft no more. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to ever start. I mean, I like playing StarCraft. I just want to play and have fun. It's a good game. The only person you can blame is StarCraft yourself. But until, because they have to be level 70 to put the gear on the character, that's why I'm leveling them. Can't you just buy tabs at level 12? No, you can't buy tabs. They don't let you buy tabs. That's in Path of Exile. No, we don't have that. You should know this. Blizzard doesn't do this. They don't have no microtransactions in Diablo. And plus, I don't want to switch out. I don't want to switch out my character's gear anymore. I just want to be able to log onto a character and it's a J build. Anyways, so basically that's what I don't like playing StarCraft too much, because you know people are cheating and I can't tell did you beat me because you beat me? Did you beat me because you're watching my stream and stream snipe? I already got to deal with stream sniping. Then I have to deal with people knowing it's me as Debo and I like building banshees. Then I have to deal with the fact that you might be hacking. So at that point, like what's the point? At least when I play League of Legends, they're not hacking. And it's enough of a delay to dissuade them from actually trying to, you know, stream snipe me. And when I play League of Legends, it's just me against, like... I guess, let me put it this way. I think League of Legends is more of a challenge in solo queue than StarCraft is. Because here's the thing. In StarCraft, you only blame yourself. In a perfect environment where... Because to me, the only thing you have to do in StarCraft is execute a build very well, make the least amount of mistakes, and that's it. And as long as you keep practicing the right things, you'll get better and better and better and better. And your skill level will rise. But the thing is, in League of Legends, you have to be so good in solo queue that you can make up for the idiotic shit your team does. So it's not a 5v5. It's actually a 1v9 because every other person on your team can be an idiot. And then you have to fight against another team across the way. And you gotta play so good, that you can make up for your team being idiots. And then I don't have to worry about... I think the worst kind of hack League has right now, they have hacks that make it so you automatically land skill shots and flash when certain effects... Like, if, let's say LeBlanc does, like, she dives on you, you can have it set so it automatically flashes you away in the opposite direction. Or they have things like that. And things that make it so you always land a hook. I mean, that's kind of a problem. But for the most part in League, I don't have to worry about somebody, you know, watching me on a map hack or doing some shit along that names and shit like that. Like, in StarCraft, if they know what you're building, that just automatically just shits on you tremendously. But in League, though, it's like being good enough to the point where I can carry other people and I can shit on them. Now, if you guys are saying, oh, you probably don't play. This is my League right here, if you guys want to know what my League account is. That's what my League account is. And that's been really fun for me right now, and that's the more popular game. And you know what? Riot shows way more support to the game than they do to StarCraft. I mean, they're always adding shit. They're always updating stuff, and I got most of the champions and shit like that. I main Fiddlesticks. That's my current main right now. Please excuse the 75% win rate. I'm trying to get it back up to 80%, but I mean, that's just not happening. But you know, I'd rather play League. I'd rather play League. At least until StarCraft gets this hack thing fixed. Once they get it fixed, then I'll go back to StarCraft playing it full time when I'm not doing Diablo. But, like, I'm not going to play a game where people are fucking hacking to the point where they're hacking in the WCS and Blizzard refuses to not to do anything about it. If the company's not going to do anything about the hacking, then I'm not going to involve myself in it because it's a waste of time. Yeah, I'm level 57. They're helping me level these extra mules so I can store my extra gear on these characters. So, the reason I'm not picking them up because they're level 57. Yeah, I main Fid Jungle. Yeah, Warcraft 3 was real bad. The reason why I started playing Warcraft 3 because they had a hack that would disconnect you. And the only way to stop the hack was by actually having the hack yourself. And they would just basically do that. And they had the building hat, which made their buildings invisible. And they would just wait out the game until you leave. And it just really killed the Warcraft 3 scene very badly. It killed the Warcraft scene very badly. And that's why that game died off. Plus, because also Dota started too. But it really killed the game because Blizzard didn't support it because they weren't making money on it and they were more worried about WoW. So when people ask me why I get mad, it's like all these games that made Blizzard famous, they don't give a fuck about, dude. You know? Like, you know that the StarCraft game should be hosted on the Blizzard server instead of, like, computer to computer because people can cheat. But they don't do that. You know? It's like... I don't understand why people would hack and do that shit. It diminishes the quality of gameplay. But when you look at the games that Blizzard is producing now, the people to blame is not necessarily Blizzard, it's the community. All those people who are using hacks and finding an easy way out, Now all their games are pussified. World of Warcraft's pussified. You can buy a level 90 character, instantly boost up all the way. Fucking Heroes of the Storm, you don't have to last it. There's no items. They pussified that. Look at fucking Hearthstone. That's a half-ass Magic the Gathering. All these Blizzard games are free-to-play microtransactions because this is what the community kept doing over and over again. So when the community gets fed up with this shit and paying $4.99 for wiping your ass in the game for all these little things before, because the old school Blizzard would have released Hearthstone and they would have did it the right way. They would have made it like, you know, you spend $60, you get a full-fledged game. They give you a lot of booster card packs. Maybe the booster card packs have been way cheaper, but now it's like, you know, once Blizzard sees how stupid the community is, they can prey upon it. I mean, if I was a businessman and people kept hacking and doing half-ass shit and making easy shit, okay, cool. Well, people are going to hack anyway. Why we give a fuck about it? You know what? Let's just let it go and not ban people because of shit and let it go. And just as long as we can keep them in our games and making our money, who gives a fuck? You know, hey, let's make the game free to play. Oh, you want to get this shortcut? Well, maybe if we offer shortcuts instead of these, they might pay for a shortcut as opposed to hacking and losing their account. So a person maybe might be like, oh, I can just pay some money and get it. So if you look at their current state of games and how things are going, it's a reflection of what the community does. And I think just in general in video games, like the intelligentness like of players has just dropped dramatically because the game companies just cater too much to the individuals and making their lives easier. You know? Nah, if they made a new Warcraft... Look, if they made a new Warcraft RTS, hell yeah, it's going to be popular. You got guys who are making an RTS, a Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2 engine as we speak, and the game looks phenomenal. But in all honesty, will Blizzard do it? No. Unless Blizzard can make microtransactions off this shit, they're not going to want to do any of this shit. From a company standpoint, it's not good profits. I'd rather, if somebody gave me $50 million and said invest this, Debo, I would invest into making a game where it was free to play with a lot of microtransactions so I can whore out my customers to maximize profits so I can become more rich. Just because you're a CEO of a gaming industry doesn't mean that you actually have to like gaming. You're there to be a CEO to like preside everything and make sure like, you know, if something bad happens, you take the fall, make sure everybody's, you know, maximizing profits. That's your job. Your job isn't to not to love the game. Your job is to ensure that the shareholders are happy and everything like that. And it's just, that's how it is, man. So basically, when people were using hacks and people were half-assing shit, that just led the companies just to basically say, well, fuck it, let's just give them everything they wanted, and they did, and now we're in the predicament that we are, and that's why the games are coming out shitty. You ever wonder why? It's really bad now. You're afraid to buy a PC port of any console game and vice versa, or you're afraid to buy a console port of a PC game because you're afraid they're going to have some type of fucked up errors and shit like that, that when it releases, you're going to be like, oh, will my computer even run it? It's so fucked up now. You could have a fucking high-end, new baller-ass PC, spend $3,000 on it, but then when Assassin's Creed Unity came out, your video card's so good that it fucks up something inside the game, which they should have checked for, glitches your system out. Now the $70 you invested in Assassin's Creed, now you can't even play your own game without lowering it to the lowest settings just because it has a conflict with your graphics card. Ubisoft knew about it. Ubisoft knew how bad Assassin's Creed Unity was. Why do you think they put that 24-hour you can't review our game until the game's been out for 24 hours so they can maximize profits and get people's money before people play the game and realize how shit it is? So at the end of the day, people think these gaming companies are bad. It's the people. It's the community. It's the gaming journalists who basically are fucking, you know, developer females so they can get good ratings on their games called Depression Quest. I'm looking at Zoe Quinn. Like, all those sites, Kotaku, IGN, guys who are in the fucking pocket of the gaming company, they're the ones that killed it in combination with the people that support and buy the games blindly. If the population of players just refuse to buy shitty games, that would automatically make them panic. Can you imagine if everybody just said, can you imagine if everybody said, we're not gonna buy games on day release unless we see a good review about it and everything's pretty fair, or gamers said, I'm not going to buy this PC game of yours initially. I'm going to wait a month or two because you know what? You guys sloppily port this over and yet you charge me the full price. Could you imagine that? this game doesn't run at 60 frames per second on my $450 console I just bought, like you promised me I would. So you know what? I'm not gonna buy your shit until you guys do a patch or a free update or something like that. If we were all to do that, you know how bad they would be hurt? Then they would listen to us any way, shape, or form or direction. And that's what we need to do, but it's never gonna happen though. You know? If you don't buy their shit, they'll feel it. Just don't buy shit. You know? That's just how it is. Just like it's the basics level concept. Like back in the day when my people couldn't ride on the front of the middle of the bus, we had to ride in the back. We boycotted, and a lot of black people rode the bus. And when they boycotted all the buses, it hurt them in their wallet. And when you hurt somebody in their wallet, I don't care what race, creed, color, nationality, or who you are, they will fucking listen to you. You know? Yeah, it should be. Yeah. I think now they should be dropping. I don't know if somebody can confirm it, but season 1 items should be dropping right now in non-seasonals. Yeah, we need a gamer union, but between the journalists shitting on the player base, like journalists are making fun of like the gamers who allow them to do their job. It's pretty fucking stupid. It's gotten really bad. The gaming industry died to me when I saw that whole article about Zoe Quinn, how she was fucking editors at Kotaku in different places. And getting her game out there. The gaming industry died when feminism started fucking rearing its ugly head, complaining about there's no prominent female roles in games when there's plenty if you actually look at them, whether it be different characters in Assassin's Creed 3, the assassins, women in that game, where you look at Samus, where you look at even in Zelda, when Zelda was actually playing as when she was Sheik and no one knew it was Sheik, and you know, or the Spartan female from Halo Reach, and you know what, and like Beyond Two Souls, you know, now you're starting to bring political agenda to like the games that I know and love, because when I play a game, I don't want to think about feminism or misogynism, I don't want to think about science, I just want to enjoy my game and get lost in the fantasy world. But now, if you have any game that has any type of relationship with other people or any type of multiple player, you have to deal with those idiots, and those idiots bring their ideas and their social values, because gaming back in the day used to be amongst the nerds. It didn't used to be cool. So we all had the like-minded shit, because you know why the kids picked up gaming? Because we liked imagination and we liked to believe in shit and we liked thinking about dragons and fighting shit. The reason why, as of now, you can't get that anymore is because so many people are flooding into the gaming stream, which is a kind of cool thing, but it's not a cool thing because you got a lot of people who bring their fucked up ideals and their shitty attitudes over into this online game, and if I'm playing MMORPG, sometimes I'm forced to play with them, and it just totally ruined the gaming industry. It wasn't females. It wasn't males. It was all these extra crazy non-gamer motherfuckers who just, you know, start jumping on the bandwagon, because remember, it used to be such a taboo thing to be a gamer. But now you got all these people, they bring all their shit. Like, if I'm sitting in a game in Final Fantasy, I'm doing a dungeon, I'm fighting this dragon, I don't want to hear the healer and the you know, the fucking bard talk about how vaccination can cause kids autism and that weird kind of shit. I don't even want to hear if they are talking about how the kids need to vaccinate. I don't want to hear that shit. We're in a fucking fantasy world. I play this fantasy world because I want to escape from that shit, you know? Well, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, being a gamer is like the cool thing to do. Half these people consider themselves gamers, but they don't know their fucking Chronos from their fucking Lynx, or from their Nesses, from the Lucians. They don't know none of that shit, man. Fucking scrubs. And it's just, it fucked up the gaming industry. Plus all that cell phone shit. Like the cell phone games, that really fucked up a lot of stuff. Candy Crush, fucking games. Like, I'm a gamer. I play fucking, you know, fucking, what's that farming game on fucking Facebook? I forgot what they call it. It was a farming game. It was pretty bad. But, I mean, that's just that's the world we live in, man. That's just how it goes. But, yeah, I mean, that's just the world we live in, man. Not much we can do about it. And as I say, them's is just the bricks. So, I mean, for me,